Who else?
I'll go.
All right.
I don't have anything major this week. Things are just rolling along with the new venture, and I'm going to Indy this week, Wednesday, but a couple of new clients. And actually, I had a client. It was so funny. I had a client of mine that I was working with, a coaching client, and she had tried to talk to this lady about coming in to see me as a referral, and the woman called her and she said, I need to take this call, which is not something she normally does, but she works sometimes she has to be called to ER in a hurry. So I allow her to have her phone so she can get to it. She pulled this person's name up and put her on speakerphone, and she started telling how wonderful I was and how this, you need to work with Patty and so on and so forth. And then she says, oh, by the way, you're on speakerphone and Patty's here. And so she booked an appointment, but it was hilarious how she did a testimonial while I was sitting right there. So, but that's kind of where I'm at. So.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's a couple new clients is always good. And this thing in Indianapolis is big for you, right?
Is what?
This thing in Indianapolis is big for you? Is this
Well, it could be over the next 12 months, yes. So I got a referral actually from the CEO this last week that two people she wanted me to connect with. And she told them both that this is our new network coordinator, so you need to go through her. And so it's not even been officially announced yet. So she's kind of turning it over. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Who's going next? All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, it has been a wonky week with the energies, as Lisa said. And I actually had to step into finally with the phone here because it's just been blasting, but I finally learned how to shut off notifications on it. So, that was technology growth on my end and all with the iPhone. So, yeah, I'm controlling it instead of it controlling me is what I finally came down to. So that's, yeah. Thank you, Patty. So, yeah. So, the big news is, and again, it's kind of crossing over here, but the client I've been working with, who we originally muscle tested Douse, she would end up being like 10 sessions, and we finished like the first 3, and we're going, she's rescheduled 2 more. Okay. So it's, it's still moving forward because of some things that have come up, and, what I'm coming up with answers for her that, it's exciting because you can help somebody, and that, that's what it's all about to me. So, that's really about it. I'm looking forward to, I'm having company this coming weekend, so I'm really looking forward to that. And looks like it's going to be a cool weekend, so it'll be a good weekend for chili and all. So, and I don't know if the cat will be out prowling around like yours is, Kevin, but she may peek out.
Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah. So, that's about, and well, it looks like I may have a landing page to, I have to check that in the morning, okay, because my website person sent me something just before I got on here to go check it out, and if that's good, then I can start putting together or launching it, actually, this landing page, which can open doors for me. And my cards keep telling me, and it's really, really interesting. New doors opening. And Miss Jerry, my tarot cards are starting to line up. I can't read them per se. I have to look at the book, but they're lining up to the other cards, which is really fascinating to watch. So it looks like maybe we may be starting to play there. with that this week. And look who's joining us, Miss Renee.
Renee's looking around. Who are you talking about?
So
Crazy.
that's about it. Well, I mean, again, you all know I've, been tapping for my brother, and I did get confirmation he's still locked up in New York in his room, but at least, I know he's locked up, and I guess he's not going to be going anywhere, which is probably a good thing for everybody.
Oh, good.
So,
Good. By the way, I've been doing Ho'oponopono that, your IT guy would finally finish that stuff.
I just let it ride. If anybody remembers the movie Let It Ride,
Yeah.
I worked in the gaming industry, so I just let it ride.
Let it ride.
Let go and let God. Right, Chris?
Yes.
What is it? Cat night here? All the cats are showing up.
Got
Come
cats
here.
and dogs here too.
All right. You say hi. Say hi.
Oh, wait a second.
There we go.
Let's show, look at
There we
Where's
go.
mine?
Lucifer and Lily. I mean, Gracie.
You have a cat, Chris?
I do. Miles. Yes.
Well, when I was there, he was in hiding because there's so many of us.
All right. They're gone away. The cats have gone.
No,
Or
It went
trying to go, I think. So,
I'm
all right.
complete. I'm complete.
You're complete. Thank you. Thank you, Erin. Who wants to go next? Jerry, Lisa, or Renee?
I'll go. There's really not much to say. It's just, I just said when I got on, I can't believe the week already flew by. It's a blink. It happened so fast. And Lisa, I agree with you. The energy is just crazy off the chart. I went out the other day and I was having a challenging time blocking myself from everybody's stuff, so, but this too shall pass, right? So we'll see what happens, but I don't know, I haven't been doing much. I've been tapping on a couple things, still waiting, but life happens and it'll just keep moseying on, I guess. I'm just in a very lackadaisical mode right now. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's all good, right? It's all good. It's nothing bad, nothing, nothing to stress out over. I'm just waiting to see what universe is gonna behold to me, right? As time moves on. So I have my cards. I have 2 cards I'm tapping on that I've been tapping on. Actually, one of them I've been contemplating is what we talked about last week is the rebirth of my fingerprint in time. And Erin texted me as a reminder the other day. And I've talked to Ken about it and I feel more comfortable with that. So now I've just been thinking, well, what's the best way to do this and to rebirth it and to get it out there again. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that and get the website up and running because I want to keep LifePath as well because I think LifePath would be the one, LifePath Publishing for the books and for anything that I publish. I would keep that for maybe the LifePath Publishing. But so right now, that's it. It's just these 2 things. Nothing major, nothing bad. Nothing, it just is, right? I am who I am.
That's all who you are.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
So thank you.
Who's next? Lisa, Renee,
Well,
Peter's
yeah,
daughter.
I haven't been on for quite a while. It's been absolutely crazy at this end.
Mhm.
I was tapping for clients, so I have been getting clients and have been busy doing outreach. So I'm going to people's homes because the computer stuff is still a challenge. So I've got some really interesting cases that I'm working with, and I'm excited about that. And I had been tapping. I've shared that I've been tapping that my son and daughter would come together, and they have done that, and they are It's just absolutely wonderful. I mean, that was my biggest tap.
Awesome.
And so they, it's about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they came together in person, and lots of hugs, and just absolutely wonderful. So just, I'm just so pleased with that. That is just, because it's been a few years since they've actually physically come together and spent time together and were face to face to each other. So misunderstandings and crazy, silly things that were absolutely nothing to it, just people protecting themselves or thinking they had to. And I knew eventually they would come, but they needed a little help. And I really feel that the tapping made a huge difference. So my heart is certainly into that.
Okay. Very good. So clients working, and even more importantly, relationships in the family are getting back. That's so cool. It is so awesome when that happens. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Renee. Lisa, you didn't go yet, did you?
Yes, I did. You weren't paying attention.
Oh yes, you said the week went by so fast. The week went by so fast, but your testimonial went by so fast. So that leaves Chris Adshade, who just joined. Chris, are you there? All right. Well, for me,
He's in hiding.
there he is. Chris, can you hear us?
Hold on. All right, now can you hear me?
Can you hear us now? Sure, we can hear you.
There.
And you're getting on just at the right time.
Okay, cool.
Has anything been going on with HoOponopono in your life?
Yeah, actually it had a great week. Hold on. Whoop. Had a great week. Nothing a lot of specifics, just some stuff with work. And right now we're kind of doing some family stuff. So but nothing really to write home about. It's been a good week. I have to say that one of the things that I was tapping on was just kind of a renewed kind of energy, because after the changing of the time and stuff like that, I kind of felt like, yeah, okay, just kind of in a lull. And then just busy with work and stuff. So, it just seems like I'm always on the computer and staring at the screen. So, but other than that, I kind of tapped on it, and I can say that I feel more energetic, sort of like, kind of like the dragging energy is kind of, kind of diminished and let go. So it could be the good weather too. I don't know. We're enjoying some nice weather now. So, the calm before the storm when winter's going to come. So like yesterday I went walking. I walked probably about 2.5 miles with a coworker friend, and just kind of renewed. So that's basically all for me.
All right. Well, thanks. I think bringing in some energy to this group is cool, because everybody's been talking about, or several people have talked about, some funky energy, and me too. It's been a weird week. Yeah, I had some major car trouble last week, and had to get that fixed and stuff like that. Everything's better now, but Yeah, it's just been a weird week, a lot of different things. But I had a couple clients over the weekend that called me up at the last minute, and one new client and one older client I hadn't seen in a while. And so that was good addition for the weekend. I actually saw 3 clients this weekend, so it was pretty good, and plus the clients during the week. So my week overall was pretty good. Financially, I think it's going well. There seems to be abundance there in some way, shape, or form, and I don't know exactly how to explain it. But things are going well, and things are going well. Home life, and Brenda's feeling healthier because she was one of the ones I had on the cards and tapped on. So little by little, all sorts of great things happening. And so, but the week did go by fairly quick. And it was just last week and a little bit into this weekend even, there was still some funky energy there, and I don't know exactly what it is. So I think everybody's experiencing this at the same time. Okay, Peter.
So I got Mike on the phone. For whatever reason, it won't let him log into Zoom. So I'm hoping you guys can hear him from the speakerphone.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear him, or I gotta figure out where my speaker is for this? What if it's here? Try speaking now, Mike.
Hey, what's his email address? I'll just send him an invite directly out of here.
My company.
Maybe this will work.
I'm wondering if he should get out of Zoom completely and then reboot, go back in. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Tell him to close it out and start it, because I was having problems last week and then I was told to shut my Zoom down and then reopen it.
Oh, Peter, do you have his email?
Yep, yeah, I put it in the comments for you.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to just send this real quickly. But yeah, Lisa may be correct too. It's like maybe that's a good thing to do is to, let's see, invite, copy invitation, and here it is. Tell him he's got an invite going right now.
I got it.
Yeah, he can hear you guys just fine.
Okay. Okay, yeah, but we couldn't hear him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could put him if you would be able to be heard, or.
So does it ask you for a passcode, Mike?
He said yes.
All right, the passcode should be 045358.
Okay, I got that. For some reason, it doesn't like my password getting in.
So he's saying it won't let him log into Zoom. It doesn't like his password getting into Zoom.
So does it ask you for that with the link?
I don't know. I haven't gotten a link yet, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, because I just sent that over.
Close it out and then try the link.
Close out.
He said he just closed out.
Okay. All right. Getting into Zoom. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you. Sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you.
You're forgiven. We love you. Thank you.
God, where the hell is it?
So does anybody have something new they're gonna tap on this week that they've been thinking about? Sue, you're always the creative one. You're on mute.
She's talking, but she's on mute.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna tap on getting, 5 or 6 hypnosis certification people.
Wow. That's aggressive. I like that.
Yeah.
5 or
so it's gonna
6
happen.
certifications before the end of the year?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
before the end of the month?
Yeah. Well, before the end of the month too. I'll say before the end of the year or sooner.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Make sure you write a card on it because
Oh,
that
yes.
needs to be
I wrote
stronger
that.
that way.
I've got,
All right. Anybody else have anything that they specifically think they're going to be working on this week?
it's right here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing something around increase of pricing because I've redone my pricing for next year and increased my prices.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and what I've done is increased enough that those people that I've talked to in the last few months that said they'd really like to start, but maybe want to wait till the first of the year, I'm calling and letting them know if they give me a deposit, sign their contract, they can have this year's price, but otherwise they'll have the new one.
Otherwise, they'll have it there.
And I've got one that's already, he said, I'll be in to see you because I want to get in on this year's price. I said, I don't care if you don't start till January, but your program will reflect that price. So.
I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. I was talking to a coach's coach not too long ago. She helps people double their revenue in a very short time. She helps people double their pricing. That's how she does it. She gets people to double their pricing. She says, oh, I help you clean up all the stuff ahead of time that's problems with your own belief system, and then you double your pricing, so you double your revenue. I said, okay, that's interesting.
That's one way.
Is he still having problems, Peter? Are you having a hard time hearing him like we're having a hard time hearing you?
I said he just got it, sorry.
Okay, finally just got it. Good. All right. I'm going to shut my chat down so I can, or at least minimize it so I can see who's on. So he should be coming any second. Oh yeah, I love that. She was completely serious. Her whole marketing was double your revenue or double your income. And when I talked to her, that's exactly what she was doing.
Well, I've been working on my belief system and my value of what I do, just to do the price increase.
Okay. If you want a little help with your belief system and your value, I'll volunteer to be there, as just, I'm sure almost everyone else here too. If you wanted to reach out and work with any of us.
Okay.
What are we doing?
All right. Is Michael still on the phone?
Come on.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Keep forgetting I mute myself and then I'm answering, but no one can hear me, but Mike.
Don't see, I keep on seeing things shift, but I don't see the extra person in here yet.
You need to get in. Let me try something.
A replenish. No wonder I'm not getting anywhere.
Okay. Chris, have you got any, either Chris, have you got any words of wisdom that you can give us while we're waiting?
No, I appreciate Patty's desire. I think beliefs are everything. Oh, so there we go.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger?
See, I did Ho'oponopono for him to get in, and 5 minutes later he got in.
There we go.
Awesome.
Awesome. Just got to work on his camera. Michael, can you hear us?
I don't know.
Can you hear everyone in the group yet, Mike, or?
I cannot. Let me just figure out where my chat is and whatever. Okay, I got it right here. Hold on. There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Awesome.
I must apologize.
No.
We're very
Welcome.
good. Welcome.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I usually am much calmer than I am now because 45 minutes of trying to get this together is giving me great grief. But I'm very pleased to join you guys tonight. And I'm probably one of the younger people in terms of the spiritual world that you guys are dealing with. But I'd like to give you my insights in what I've done in the past and what has worked and where I am today. Okay. By the way, I'm an old guy, if you haven't noticed. The gray beard has come for a very serious reason. I'm well into my 60s. I have 2 very grown age kids and 1 grandchild, which is really cool. So that's that. So I won't get into that. I've been a real estate appraiser and a tax assessor for probably going on 45 years. And that basically is an extension of where my life was in a really cool place. So to start with, I don't tell very many people, but I'm very proud of the fact that I am one of the original human growth hormone kids back in the 1950s.
Mm.
In 1950s, about 1953 or 54, my parents started to see that I was not growing normally and ended up in an endocrinologist office in New York City on Park Avenue, and ended up for about 13 years going to an endocrinologist under HGH care. I grew 18 inches. So I'm actually 5'1", so that tells you how short I would have been. And that tells me what, while my life would have been very full, did not give me the opportunities that a full-grown man basically has. And so I've been very grateful in that sense. And I've always looked at my life in a grateful sense of balance. And I've always attempted to help people who are less fortunate or just basically could need a hand for whatever the case is. So in that sense, I've been very, very lucky. It's allowed me to do a lot of things that I've never expected to do. I had the pleasure of learning how to shoot skeet and trap when I was growing up as a trap boy. That's the guy that pulls the buttons and lets the birds go out. And so I became very successful in the trap and skeet range, in the trap and skeet world. I've tried out for the Olympic team back in the heydays of the 1970s. So I shot the national championships and had a really good time, world championships, and I had a really good time doing it. But God always gave me the opportunity to show that I could do more, okay? So the next step was probably I started working in a full-time job. I had 2 years of architectural technology, hated being an architectural major, sitting on a drafting board. So I needed to find someplace to go where I could speak to people and learn about their lives and see what their lives are about, help them if I could, and that kind of thing. So about 1973, I ended up in an appraisal office as the first employee ever in that place. Now, you probably won't see this, but 1975, this has been in my wallet. It is the prayer to St. Francis. Has been in my wallet since 1975. I don't look at it all the time, but I mentally go through it and I just think about it, and it gives me a really comfortable place to live in. That's always been my hallmark, is that's the way I've lived my life. A couple years ago, I ended up going into the Silver system, which is a super program, by the way. If you ever get the chance, it's a 2-day course on weekends. They usually have them throughout the United States. Very worthwhile for you to take in some time. So you should have you'll learn a lot with that. And it matches in with what we're doing now with HoOponopono. So that's kind of cool. What it did teach me was that there was outward manifestations available to me available to me as a person and as someone who could give it back to the world. And so that kind of left-handedly brought me into the reason I'm here tonight, which is the check I created for my own purposes to work with the program. And what I decided somewhere along the line, I don't remember where I learned it, but someone gave it to me through Silver or someplace else, is to create a check, take it, write it out from the universe and sign it from the universe, make it out to yourself, and either put it in your wallet or put it close to you where you can do a couple minutes here and a couple minutes there and just go on to the 4 parts of HoOponopono. So that's what I've been doing all along, basically in the last 3 or 4 months, and it's worked pretty well for me. About 2 weeks after I started doing it intently, I'm a semi-retired guy, so I can get away with a lot more than usual. So I sit at the corner of the couch and watch cowboy and Indian movie, TV shows and stuff like that, because I'm a grumpy old guy. And so I'll sit there and I'll place the check between my hands, and I'll practice the four steps. Now, what I did find out is 2 things over time. The first thing is that you have to come out of state that you're in physically in the world. You have to take a step back, take your breath, and think of and focus on that check sitting between your hands. And the other thing is, when you say the 4 sentences, you have to say it with meaning, and you have to attach it to a gratitude situation so that the energy of the universe, spirit, understands it's coming from the right place. So anyhow, I started doing that, and I'm almost basically semi-retired from the appraisal practice. I ended up getting an $8,000 appraisal job out of it, okay? Which is kind of cool. I didn't really want it. I didn't end up getting it, which is okay, because it worked out for the better. Spirit said it was not the right thing to do. What ended up happening was it was a reappraisal of somebody else's work, and it was cheaper and easier for the client to use the other appraiser, which is fine with me. And so, but it was sitting there on my desk. I got the approvals and went through with a lot of research, and it turned around. And mentally, I said to them it was proper for them to take it someplace else. So in that sense, it was the right place for me. It was the right thing for me, and it was also the right thing for the universe to take care of. So after that, I guess the last 2 weeks or so, I've been getting phone calls for appraisal work and jobs that I never expected. It was not something I was looking for, but it replaced that $8,000 fee that I gave up because it was the right thing to do. Okay. So that's that. Secondly, I'm in the middle of starting another practice outside of the appraisal practice, because I've written 14 million times the subject property is located on the corner of so and so and so, that I didn't want to do it anymore. So I ended up going into another practice. I'm starting a practice that saves property owners on their electric bill, on their gas bills, on their water and sewer, and on their waste management costs. And it's very important now because of COVID and because the economy is falling apart, that an individual business owner has the opportunity to save a couple of bucks. Okay. So anyhow, so to weave the whole thing together, I'm going to leave it at that because I'm very late and I apologize for that. As an appraiser and as an assessor, I was also an assessor for 20-something years in 3 towns. I've always treated the other person, whether it be a taxpayer or a client, in the cases of the businessman with the new business, I've always attempted to give them their best position in life. If I could give them a little bit more in the assessor, I would do it, or I would do it the following year as something that made them feel like they came ahead rather than behind. And the other thing is that as part of the whole conversation, I also talk to people as they drive by me, and I appreciate them. I will apologize if I pull in front of them, which is kind of funny because my wife is sitting next to me and I will turn around and say, I'm sorry. Or if they let me in, I will roll down the window, even in the middle of the winter time, and throw my hand up to say thank you, and then roll up the window again, and she gets cold and freezes, smacks me around a couple of times, and life goes on. So in all the cases, it all goes back to that gratitude thing, I believe. It all goes back to the fact that Spirit has always been very, very positive in giving to the people around me and to myself. And I think that's about it. Let's see, one more thing. Oh, that's it. Yeah. I hope it was helpful. I would love to join you guys again.
I thought it was great. I love how you talk about the gratitude, Mike, because I feel like that's big. Yeah, to have gratitude for everything we do get. You know, and then the other one I know we just talked about before, but before I didn't know you kind of gave up that first client and then it paid for itself later on. Yeah. It always goes to show when we do the right thing and we have the right intentions, we get the right results from it.
Surely.
Does anyone have any questions for Mike? Well, I
I
think
would like
Kevin
to come
does.
back again.
Mike, was that an $8,000 check you had between your hands?
No, it wasn't. It was actually a contract to do the job. My hand is 10,000.
Your hand
10,000 a month.
10,000.
And what I also do is this, where on top of the check, use one of your own checks, on top of the check where it says your name and address, I white that out and I say universe, spirit, or whatever the case is. I'm trying to bring it with me. I say universe or spirit or whatever your feeling is, and I sign it as his name also. So therefore, what we've done is we've connected with that future situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
as I said, it was only 2 weeks after I started doing it again. What ended up happening was like I talked to Peter, and Peter brought it out that I had totally forgot about it. And so what ended up happening was Peter reminded me of it. I reminded Peter that that's what had happened in the past, and I used it, and that's when it happened.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you for. So how long have you been doing Ho'oponopono?
I actually learned it by pure. I'm going to sneak out of the screen. I actually learned it by pure mistake. I have a very old friend who is a chiropractor, and his secretary was using it and started teaching me about it. I'm not classically trained in it. I learned by pure mistake, to be quite frank with you. And as silly as it sounds, we were talking about my driving and thanking people. Excuse me. What was actually happening was I was using it wrong. I was offering the prayers to people around me and wishing them well, okay, which is kind of cool because it still worked for me, and it passed on the energy for me as well. But somewhere along the line, I have a spiritual coach that I've been using for about 5 years now, and we were talking about it. And she said, "You're doing it wrong," and I said, "No," because and what would happen is I would go into a restaurant, and I would divide the restaurant or church. I would divide it into 4 places, and I would say the first word here, and the first sentence here, and then the second sentence here, and then the third and fourth, and I would rotate, and I would do the first one here, and just to give back to the world, to give back to the people that needed it most. So what ended up happening, she said, no, you're doing it wrong. It's about clearing you to clear them. And I said, okay. So I started thinking in terms of that. That's when the check came about, basically, as a part to that, and it worked fine. So I had done it totally wrong, even though I was happy with the results, because I'm driving down Route 80 at 90 miles an hour, and there's 40 people coming at me, and I was throwing those prayers at them, I should say, and I was happy as a lark because I felt that they somewhere in that group of people needed my touch, and I was giving them my touch. Okay?
Oh, very good. Very good.
Okay, any other questions? May I join you guys sometime again?
This group is not usually this quiet. No one has any
Oh my
questions?
God. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of processing. Now, we'd love to have you. You know, we meet every Monday at 6:30.
Cool.
You know, it's one where we all help each other grow.
Sure.
All right.
I want to say I think everyone here is a practitioner, whether it be in hypnosis, NLP, Ho'oponopono, bodywork. So we all help each other.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Was I loud enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I tend to be very bodacious. I'm Italian, as you can tell. Even though it doesn't look like it, I'm Italian.
I like the idea of writing out the check. I'm gonna do that.
Yes, it works beautifully.
Yeah.
And again, 5 minutes at a time, even if you put it in the bathroom while in between your washing your face. Just 2 minutes of it this way, and it's a wonderful thing. Do it a couple of times in a couple of different places. The point is to place your mind on that for that few seconds and
Yeah.
so you're connected to it.
Sounds good. I like
Good.
that.
I think we'll all be writing checks tonight.
Okay.
If
And-
you want, you can make them out to Peter Gagliardo.
Oh, you beat me to
Send them right to me. I figured that's where you were going, so.
You
I
beat
knew
me
that
to
was coming. I seriously knew that was coming. I was gonna
No.
help you send it to me.
So question, Mike.
Sure.
So on the check, where it would normally have your name, you white it out, or do you just kind of cross it out?
No, you white it out.
Wow.
You want to clean, and if you want, you can even photocopy it so it's a clean check and try that. Okay, but it has to be written from the universe or from spirit, wherever, or from whatever, from source. And so that's the beginning point. You write out the amount, the sum of $10,000 per month on the description line, and then on the bottom you'll sign it from the universe.
And then do you put anything like in the memo spot, or do you leave that blank?
You can say for work completed or for future work or whatever. You gotta play with it. I don't know the answer to that. I never got that far.
Just for an FYI, I posted a gratitude check on our Facebook group that I had. It's a gratitude bank of the universe. I have it in one of my workshops. So if anybody just, you can print it out. It's already signed the universe, and everything's right there. Just if anybody's interested and they don't want to use their own checks, you can just print it out. It does the same thing. So
That's why I had my hand up, because from my dowsing group, we have it, and it's, we do it on the new moon, and in the description is what you want to manifest, and you put your name in. Obviously, you don't put the date in.
Right.
Paid in full for the dollar amount, but you're saying to put an actual dollar amount in there, huh?
Well, again, if you want a $10,000 a month client base, that becomes your goal. Now, at some point, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, when you're doing 10,000 a month, then you're going to bump it up to 20,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever used it for anything else with manifestation, Mike?
I'm sure you could. I'm a young guy in this. I'm only doing this for about 5 years. I end up going to a place called Thought in Motion out of Montclair, New Jersey, and they're very spiritual involved. And what had happened was my sister passed away about 7 years ago, and I was talking about wanting to meet and carry on a conversation with her after she had passed, and that went through one of my doctors to, you should go out there, and I ended up going out there, and I ended up getting hooked up with them. And then one of the coaches that I was working with them, I ended up with her, and that's where I'm at now. So I'm really a youngster in this. I'm really still a toddler. I just know that the couple of things that I've done has worked. I'm always looking for other ideas. I will tell you this, silver, I had taken silver probably about 6 years ago. I found silver to be really phenomenal. Jose Silver, you can see some of their techniques on YouTube.
Mike, I have the CD set or something like that I have yet to get to. We'll just say I've had it for several years.
They're really pretty cool.
Well, Kevin and I have a friend, and Chris A. and I have a friend that was trained with Silva, right, Kevin?
Okay.
Yeah, because Silva mind control back in the 70s.
Yes.
Remember that.
A lot of people in Boston got trained that way. So, yeah, we have a friend, and I've actually been trained in some of the meditations and stuff, and it really is good stuff. It's very similar. There's hypnosis in it. There's similar things to NLP and stuff like that. So it is really cool stuff.
I have also used NLP. As a sideline, as I was talking about shooting ski, I had about 25 years later, my brother and I were playing pool in a league, and we ended up going to national championships. And I was looking for a really good NLP practitioner, and ended up with a hypnosis session instead, which worked out beautifully, and it worked fine. So I'm aware of both of them. I like both concepts. At some point, I might even become a practitioner.
Well, there's a really great teacher online right here. She's on the water.
Oh, really?
Cheers finder. She's really an amazing instructor if you want to learn hypnosis.
Oh, cool.
Oh my, right here.
I should have known.
She's the best.
Okay. I thank you for your time.
But thank you very much for being here and giving us your story. Really appreciate it. And you're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
I just remembered, you just helped me remember a story I forgot all about. When I was first starting to do energy work, people would tell me, well, you start out by asking for a place to park in front of a specific place.
Right.
I said, okay. So I drove down to Lexington Center at noontime, which was you'd never get a place to park. And I'm very calmly saying in the car all the way down, okay, I need a place to park right outside Bank Boston. I go down Mass Ave. I start to make the left-hand turn where there were 3 parking spaces right along the side there. 3 cars all pulled out at the exact same time. I had the entire line to pick from.
How cool.
So that did it. That made me a believer.
I will tell you a very, very quick, very funny story. When I was working as a tax assessor, I had a young lady that was working in an adjacent office that was being trained by her boss, who hated me, and she was her mouthpiece for hating me. Okay. So she ended up, she would say my name in derision. Instead of saying, good morning, Michael, she would say, Jager, in a really bad way. And so on a Sunday night, I finally got pissed off about the whole thing. On a Sunday night, I went into state at 12 o'clock. I said to Spirit, I want a conversation with her when her ego is free and open to me, and I would like to carry on a conversation with her. So I guess it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm awakened. I go in the state again. I have this long conversation with her. Now, she's 22 years old. I'm well into my 50s, probably. So I said, I'm old enough to be a grandfather. And I went on, I deserve respect. I was doing this before you were even born, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I walk in on Monday morning, and I swear to God, this is how it went. I walked in on Monday morning. She said, good morning, Mr. Jager. How are you? And now we're the best of friends. So it really does work.
Yeah.
It really does work. So it's kind of neat. So
Yeah.
I must go buy dinner for my wife and I because I'm running late. I figured I was only going to be 15 minutes or 20 minutes before 7 o'clock. So I'm going to hit some headstorms when I get home.
All right.
Oh, well, thank
you very much.
Thank you so much for coming in, Mike.
Michael.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you soon.
I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right.
Now we can't go up.
I know, he's gonna even have getting out.
No. I got it. I got
You
mine.
did it, Kevin.
I gotta
So
get my
did you
check.
cross out the from? Like does it still have your name in the corner? Do you have to change that to?
I marked it all off where it doesn't have my name, and it says the universe.
Okay.
All right, so
Of
this is
that.
from the checking account of the universe.
Just remember 2 and my last name Adshade, ADSHADE.
Yes, I'm sending.
Chris,
I'm
just do
sending
your
out
own.
an invoice right now, Chris. Okay. Well, that was good. Anybody have any other comments on what he talked about? I loved.
It was so fast. It was like, huh?
Could you explain one more time how to do that check?
Thank you, Sue, because he was so fast. It was like, what?
Right, first of all, simple. It's a check to you, okay, and it's from the universe. So he said, white out the name in the upper left-hand corner. I marked it all off. But he said, it's nice to have a clean check, and maybe there's something important to that. But we know that these techniques we take in individually. I don't know, you can white it out, you can put a piece of tape on it and write the universe, but just that little corner. So if you look at mine, I actually have it blacked out like that. And I have the universe up there. I think the important thing is, okay, I've got it in my name. I'm looking at this, and there's a check for $10,000 in my name, and it's signed. And the important thing is, I look at it, I hold it, and I do. I do the HoOponopono prayer. This is not any different than the other technique and strategy we have is cards, because you put your card on it, but this is a nice visual. Because a card we don't associate with money, do we? But
No.
a check we associate with money. So this is much more powerful for our subconscious mind.
You
I
put in
love the
bank-
idea. I wish I had thought about this already.
Yeah.
Well, it's been Jim Carrey did that. That's how he got his.
Yeah, his
It's
$1 million.
been a
And
big,
for years, I walked around, and I probably still do, with a $1 million bill in my
Oh, I have that upstairs, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the check is different. The check is okay. Here's the energy. It's to me.
The
It's
check
a
is
check.
real.
Yeah. Check's
And
real. It's to me. Yeah.
Geraldine just put in our
Just
Facebook
print-
page.
yeah.
Perfect.
That's what I said. Just print out the one that if I have.
Yeah.
I post it, and that's it. So you don't have to use your checks.
It's really a good one.
It's everything. I think that's one of the. It's from I think a friend of mine she did some workshop somewhere, and
It's from the Gratitude Bank. I liked it.
yeah, it's a gratitude bank, and it's
Yeah.
not negotiable.
Yeah.
Whatever you put on there, that's it. That's what you're asking for.
It's a nice signature. I can read it.
So
That's
And
nice.
the other version I've heard is similar but different at the same time. So I don't know if any of you guys know who Dan Kennedy is.
Yep. Marketing master.
Yeah. And his version of this, and when I first heard it, I thought he was crazy, but now I'm more on board with it. So in every room of his house, he has a drawer full of change and dollar bills, and whenever he walks into a room, he just takes out all his change in his pocket and puts it in this drawer. And he goes, a lot of people have a problem with that because he never touches it until it overflows. Once it overflows, he takes just enough out so he can start putting more in. And he goes, a lot of people, especially when they have kids, go, I don't want that because my kids are going to take my money. They're going to take the money and spend it on whatever they want. And he goes, and what you're doing is you're bringing out fears in yourself of, I'm going to lose this money if I leave it out. I'm going to lose this money if it's not in the bank or not in this very specific spot. So when you can go in every room and just be like, oh yeah, here's a drawer of money. It's no big deal. That's when you start attracting money because your fear of losing it or not having it disappears. And, when you first did it, I thought it was just kind of crazy trick that he has. But the more like he explained it, I'm like, I get it. Cause yeah, like if you're like Pete, when you come home, just put money on the counter every night, I'd be like, no, the kids are going to knock it off. The dogs are going to knock it. The cat's going to knock it. It's going to disappear. I'm no longer going to have it. And then that's my belief is I'm going to lose my money if I don't know exactly where it is. And it allowed me to kind of work through that thought process of it's okay to have a spot that's out in the open. It's okay to have it so if someone wants to take it, they can take it. Because when you're not afraid to lose it, you're free to gain it. So
Thank you.
I thought that was pretty cool. And I think
No,
that kind of goes along with the whole check thing.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. But that's, that fear of losing it, when people when people teach about, how you consider money it's when they take a 20 or a 50 or $100 bill and they just rip it in
Rip it in
half.
half. Yeah.
When they have them rip it in half, because it's them who has to get over this fear. And, because it is only, money is a certain physical thing, it's paper, it's coins. It only has the value we give it. And so to me, that sounds like, it's the same kind of lesson. But this, applying Ho'oponopono to this while it's in your hands or on your forehead, like someone else I see, right? I think the first, I can almost bet that the first one who this is going to work for is that lady with the colored chairs in back of her. The one who brings cookies and desserts to her house by just thinking of it. I think this is going to work for you, Sue.
Your third eye, Sue.
Huh?
It's the third eye. You're burning.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's right. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I was at the supermarket the other day and I got $20 in cash, $20 bill. And I put it in my pocketbook, but somehow it slipped out of my pocketbook. It was in a loose section. I lost the $20, but I didn't get upset. I said, you know what? Whoever finds it, hopefully they can use it. And I let it go. There would have been a time where I would have been really upset about it, but no. Hopefully somebody will use it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just have to be sure I don't lose this.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's good.
All this
So we
talk
don't
about
all
money is
people.
getting me all out of bother.
Oh,
Look at all that money Chris has got.
whoa.
It's fake. It's play money, but you can't tell.
Whoa.
It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So, no, this is cool. Thank you for inviting Michael on, Peter. And I think it was nice to have someone that's been doing this for a while tell us about what he's been doing, how he's been doing it, and how it's been in his life. And sounds like he was a perfect example. So we need a joke to close this night. We need something uplifting, something funny. And Sue, you look like you're reaching for something.
I had one earlier and I thought I got to remember it. Now I don't remember what it was.
I got one.
Huh?
I got one.
Oh, good.
Can I share it?
Sure.
All right, there's two religious guys at the street and they're holding a sign and the sign says, turn around before it's too late. And one of the cars zooms by them and says, you religious fanatics, the guy yells outside. And as he's going by, you could hear brakes go, then splash. And all of a sudden, the one religious guy says to the other, I wonder if we should change the sign to turn around, bridge closed.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
How does the squid go into battle?
What?
Oh,
How does a squid go into battle?
I don't know.
Well armed.
Oh, God.
Octopus could say that too.
oh, any more? So did that bring up anything?
Well, it reminded me of something that happened to my mother years ago when she lived down in Florida. They have big palmetto bugs down there, which are really large cockroaches. And she'd had the house sprayed, but she was getting ready to go to bed. She turned the lights off in the living room and was walking down the hallway, and the light was still on in the bathroom, and she saw a big palmetto bug sitting on the floor. So she said, I quietly turned around, went back in the living room, and just grabbed a book because it was dark. And she said, I came back, tiptoed back, and I just put the book right over the bug and I let the book go. And of course, it killed the bug. The book was The Joy of Cooking.
That's a heavy book.
Only my mother.
Where do you find a cow with no legs?
Cow with no legs. I don't know.
All I can think of was ground beef.
Exactly where you left it.
Actually,
But you left it. Oh, goodness. Well, this is open mic night tonight, so anyone else?
okay. Let's see now.
Oh, she's whipping it out. Chris will get his book out too.
What
That's
do you
what he
get?
do.
What do you get if
The
you
best.
cross a cat with a bottle of vinegar?
I don't know.
A sourpuss.
God, not in honor of all the cats we have here tonight.
Yes. Did you hear that, baby girl?
Here's one I just found. What's the best thing about Switzerland?
Oh, you're the same one that I
I don't know.
What?
I don't know, but the flag is a big plus.
am. You're on the same link I am.
All right.
Great minds think alike. That's a good one.
What do you get? What do you get when you cross a bear with a skunk?
Oh.
Well, I've got the skunk and I've had the bear in the neighborhood. So tell me.
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
So bad.
It's too bad your daughter wasn't still here, Peter.
Yeah, she's out playing somewhere.
All right.
She
So
knows
thi-
she's supposed to be getting ready for bed, so.
I'm glad we ended it like this, all laughing and stuff
What
like
do you
that.
get if you cross a cow and a camel?
But
Lumpy milkshakes.
Lumpy milk.
Oh, God.
All right.
Ah,
Well, I challenge everyone to give this a try this week.
yeah.
yes.
And so we can have some feedback for next week. And no, this is really, really good. What do you get when you get a tired dog? It looks like she's passed out.
Get a Willie.
All right, so everyone have a great week. We'll be back.
Yeah. Look at
Bye,
her.
Lily. Bye, Lily.
I'm out of here.
Bye, Lily.
Good night, all. Have a great week.
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye bye all.
Good night.
Talk to you
Thank you.
Thursday, Jerry. Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Good seeing you again, Renee.